Well, hello, hello.
Hello, I'm Sarah,
And I'm Helen, and we
and
have a
we're committed parenting,
we
and we have a
are,
question for you.
and we have a question. Yeah, and the question is, are you interested in elevating your experience as a family?
Hands up! Yeah, like who isn't? And really, what I'm so present to is like after our conversation yesterday here in Committed Parenting, where families thrive. I've really got the value I'm getting out of every day being in this conversation regarding families thrive and getting connected to what's my commitment
Mm.
and and seeing what kind of things come up for me that might get in the way of my commitment being alive and present,
Mm.
or like what kinds of things just come up as being a parent in a household with a gaggle of kids around and through life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I've just been getting so much value, joy, and satisfaction from being part of this conversation every day, because again, it's that taking a pause, like the value of that pause and being in communication and a conversation with other people
Mm-hmm.
about how it actually is,
Mm-hmm.
and not just a happy face sticker on things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been like my experience inside of my family is just grown and blossomed, and it always does, and it's something why I love this conversation. It's like I don't have to go out and do a lot of doing things or go be perfect or go regurgitate some kind of prescribed way to be a parent. Yeah, it's like I get to be me as a parent,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I get to be proud of it, and connection lives, and the kids are heard, and it's like this lovely experience, and it's just like literally from like a 10-15 minute pause of a conversation every day.
So I'm just going to take one step back. I think the thing that we really identified that was really there for us is this conversation is not for every parent. It's actually for people who are interested in elevating what it is to be a parent. Because for some of us, we don't have interest, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's not something that we want to give our time to. But for you and I know there are other people, right? That interest in elevating, and it's literally what brings back to me that conversation about I said, like, there's something available in the performance, like elevating the performance of being a parent.
Hmm.
That's available in this conversation.
Yeah. And it's that thrive conversation. It's like we're really about families thriving, and it's like if that's a match for your commitment in life, right? Like if it's a match for your commitment inside of your family, that your family gets to thrive. And
Mm.
as an inquiry, like what does it even mean to thrive? What would thrive
Mm.
even look like in your family? And if you're somebody who is interested in that kind of inquiry, interested in that kind of looking, like this conversation of committed parenting is freaking brilliant
It
and makes a
really
real
is.
significant difference. It's like, because it's these nuances that actually they seem so subtle, and that yet they're huge. Like it's like these nuances of just pausing and noticing kind of that survival in the background, or that roteness, or that getting throughness that can hook us all in
Mm-hmm.
every area of life, but especially here as a family. Like we could just hop into a role sometimes. I can just hop into Sarah as a mom and drive things through, and that's what's right there, and that's what's going to be there, unless like I look or pause or take or create or come from a commitment. And and so many other parents are interested in that same thing. They notice, it's like at the end of the night they're just like, why did that happen again? Like something had me. I heard my mother's voice coming out of my mouth, or like I reacted, and I didn't know what to do about it. And I feel some people feel like at a loss. Like, there's been times in my life where I've been feeling really at a loss of what to do to elevate or to thrive.
Yeah. Yeah. And, and it's literally, I love that because it is like we can just keep doing what we've been doing and not be interested in making a difference, or like having it be different for us and our family, or we can have the opportunity, and this is really us, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
we get to parent. It really matters to us how we parent and what we leave our kids with and what we're left with.
Yeah.
So
It's like
let's
it's a
dig
level of
in. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's this interest, this engagement, this curiosity, yeah, this commitment to this
Yeah.
thrive thing we talk
Yeah.
about. And so it's like if you're that parent, like likely if you find yourself watching these, that's you.
And
Really, like, likely if you're watching these, you're someone who's interested in, what could I put in? What's missing? How's it going? How do I want it to be? What
mhm,
does thrive look for my family? If you find yourself with those questions, you're likely that parent. You're in the right spot because you're looking at like how to elevate your family
mhm,
experience, how to elevate that life and provide all that you want to provide for your family and your kids.
yeah.
And again, and if you're not, there is zero, like you get to be like the one thing that so I love about what this is of committed parenting. This isn't a prescription. Anybody could, get value out of here. If you are interested and this is like what you're up to, wow, anybody could in a moment be like, wow, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I'm after. This is the experience I want. Here I am. And it's like, awesome, this is for you because there isn't any specific type of parent other than the interest in this conversation, the
Mhm,
interest in that thrive, that like reaching or elevating kind of character that you might be.
mhm,
And there is no prescription. It's like, people might practice different disciplinary methods that come to these
mhm,
conversations. They might practice all different kinds of ranges of parenting methods.
mhm,
And great,
mhm,
like you really get to do you as it works for you as a parent. And as like what we're about is we're interested in, is that your commitment? If it's coming from your commitment, if it's coming from what you're creating, and if you're in the inquiry of what does it take to thrive, like you've got that. Like that's this conversation.
yes. And for me, what I also want to say, it's freeing to recognize that that's what really matters. This conversation really matters, and that I'm interested in elevating it.
There's an owner, like when, like what I just hear, what's available when we own that. When I own, actually, that is who I am. I am somebody that's interested. And it's like that's actually where the, imperfectly perfect comes from. Like, you know what, you can be and you are, I'm sorry if I'm popping a bubble, but we all are imperfect. Like, you're going to be imperfect. You're
Yeah.
not going to do it right. You're not going to do it, you know as you probably even wanted to, like, or
Mhm.
as you have it visioned in your head. Like, you're likely gonna mess up or bump around or whatever sometimes, like you are. And the greatest thing is like, it's not about a right way.
No.
It's not about any right way. It's about that commitment and like the pride you get to walk away with, and that ownership you get to walk away with, the power you get to walk away
Yeah.
with, and that joy and satisfaction you get to walk away with when you know this is who you are. I'm somebody who, yep, I'm imperfect, but I am committed,
Mhm.
and it's like owning that. Like
Mhm.
it's it can add, like, a couple little bit of a bounce in that step and some freedom and spaciousness when we just like claim it for ourselves. Like, yep, I'm imperfect and I'm committed
Mhm.
and I'm rocking this thing out, and
Mhm.
I'm like, creating that thrive in my family.
Yeah, like that really is your like I want to say your goal is like the thriving. It's where
Yeah.
your attention is on the thriving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's a great thing. And that's what this conversation provides. Like by stepping into a conversation, we are actually creating like our attention onto that,
Mhm.
right? Like we're actually carving out a space so that we can actually like put our attention on thrive, put our attention on what's there that's not thrive,
Mhm.
put our attention
Mhm.
on just that whole range of what does it take to thrive, and being curious. And the value of that attentiveness is huge,
Mhm.
and that's what this conversation provides. And the outcomes of that, like again, what we get out of being inside kind of that thrive conversation and that commitment conversation, like it's lovely. Like it really, it just that it like it's literally, there's nothing to do being in here in this conversation and doing that looking. Like the thrive shows up is what I hear too. It's like I don't actually have to go to work. I just walk away and I'm here with my family in a place with them.
Mhm.
and we get to thrive and real. And it's not always rainbow and unicorns is something I have to remind myself, because sometimes, again, my vision of thrive is like everybody kumbaya happy, and it's like that's actually not thrive. That's like freaking maybe in a cage and being chained up.
Or like a utopian like fantasy,
Yeah.
like that's how it should look somehow. And I think that keeps on going. While I go back to this thing, I'm really interested in the performances of a parent, like in the world of like, how do we elevate our performance as a parent? Like really, it cracks me up, but I can just hear it over and over, right? And then when hi Coco, and then when we put our attention on it, when we put our attention on it, what you just created there, for me, it brings me back to, hey, I get to be present. This is what I'm taking on, And I hear it every single time after we have these conversations. What I notice is my interest and energy in how my family is doing is elevated, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would point to.
Absolutely. Yeah. I walk away interested and engaged in a different kind of way. Yeah. With some grace, really, is I walk away interested with grace from these conversations, and like looking at the value, especially since we've started, during this pandemic time, and we've gone from doing our Friday calls to our Monday to Friday, every day 12:30 calls. And like, having that pause and that conversation Monday to Friday has made, it's like this jump and leap for me in who I get to be as a parent. Like the value that I've gotten out of this coming every Monday to Friday and being in this conversation and looking like what's actually right there for me and getting present and related to what my commitment is and who my kids are for me and who I am as a parent, and inside of that Thrive conversation, like it's leaps and bounds of walking away without a lot of work, like without all that efforting and without all that doing and having to get somewhere. I literally like just walk away, and I'm interested and automatically connected to my kids walking out of the door from this conversation.
Yeah. It's literally like you've switched on.
Yeah.
The attention,
Yeah. I see them. It's like all of a sudden, like my eyes see them, the presence that's available. I walk out of this room and it's like, my hand is like right there on their head, and I'm looking at them and exploring them and just seeing them for this like beautiful human that they are. And that's where I'm always committed to see them from. And
of course,
I don't always show up like that, but like it's and that in itself, it just like warms my heart. Like the experience I have with myself as a mom, walking out of this room being that available for my child and present.
I so got you.
This is a gift I want every parent to have.
But that's it, Sarah. That's why you put yourself at issue day in and day out about this, is because actually that's the gift, that when we actually engage, right? When we actually give ourselves the grace to stop, pause, right? And actually have a chance to see what's there, right? And then to go from our commitment, that's the gift. And that's why you keep putting yourself at issue for this.
Yeah. And it's interesting because like it's so easy to say like, oh, I don't feel like it today. Or it's so easy to be like, well, what kind of difference would that make anyways? It's just like a 10-minute conversation. Like, really? And it's like, no. This has really like in my face, like seeing the night and day difference, that subtlety actually is profound. It makes. And that's why like, that's why like Helen and I yesterday got really connected to the value this kind of conversation offers for those that are really interested in a family that thrives.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this is the conversation for you. Like the presence you get to walk away with, the availability you get to walk away with. Like I know you. Like I don't know you, but I know someone who's interested in a family thrive, what it's like, and you want that. And it's like it's available. It's like so really available without changing yourself or fixing something or doing a lot of work. Like it's actually available with ease. Really.
Imagine.
And I want that for you. Yeah. And so we're really out. So over this next week, we're really engaged in this conversation of like what is available inside of committed parenting, what is on offer, why committed parenting, who is this for, why is this distinct from other things, or like what's actually here, and how can you utilize it and get the most out of this. And we really see that, you know what, this conversation is an important conversation,
Mm.
a very important conversation, and we want you in it,
Yeah.
and we want you engaging in it regularly and ongoingly because of the value it gives you,
Mhm.
the value it gives your children, the value it gives your family. They'll get you, they'll get more of you.
Exactly. And you get to be present. Like, honestly.
Yeah. And we know you want that. That's what, you know, that's what we want as parents that are interested in this.
Yes, we
So
do. We do want that. We want all of that to be present and available.
there's a
And have our
whole,
people have more of us. Yeah.
yeah, there's a whole space of presence, and that kind of presence where you are imperfectly perfect, they're imperfectly perfect, and you get to get moved
Mm.
and like witness the beauty of your kids and your family and create it. And it's
And
your,
yourself. And
yeah,
yourself.
yourself entirely included. You know, the satisfaction fulfillment you get to walk away with, it's yours.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's what we're about right now. Well, that's what we're always about, but that's the conversation we're taking on
Yeah.
right now. And we're looking to spread the word. Like, really, like, share this with other parents that you see that they're interested in this kind of
This one.
conversation. They're interested in elevating their family experience. They're out
Mhm.
to have their families thrive. They're after and looking for that presence with ease, that actual, like, real connection, those moments, and
Mm.
creating those. You
Hmm.
know, that's what we're up to. Here we
Radiant.
are. So
Radiant.
again, Monday to Friday, we're doing this conversation, 12:30 Pacific time. Join us. Join us and join us live. We partake in the conversation. We value your questions. We value what you're dealing with. We value the conversation. Come along.
Yeah. And we will start posting the link. As long as we can get on live, we will start posting the link that you can join in with us. It's something we said we could do, and then we weren't able to get live yesterday. So I just want to acknowledge that. We will
Thank
take
you.
that on. Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome.
Awesome.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see you tomorrow, Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time.
We sure will. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.